guys, this is Cala with AutoTrader.com, and today I want to talk to you about looking beyond the phone call and the email. Now, I was an internet director for 8 years at 2 different stores, and in that time, one of the biggest things that we utilize to determine something is working or not is if we can judge by how many emails and phone calls we're getting from that particular lead source. Now what happens is if we only look to the phone call, if we only look to the lead, we're shortchanging ourselves on the effectiveness of what we're utilizing. For example, AutoTrader.com is going to provide to you phone calls. We're going to provide to you leads, but we're also going to provide to you a body standing in your showroom ready for a test drive, wanting to look at a car. We did a sourcing study of over 2,500 buyers, not just shoppers, but buyers in New Jersey. And what we discovered was that the majority of these people who bought used cars in New Jersey, of the ones that we went and did this case study on, they walked into a dealership before sending or without sending any response to a lead or sending any kind of interaction with the dealer through a lead or a phone call before walking in the door. 57% of the people who are on AutoTrader.com who bought used cars, walked into the dealer without ever submitting a lead or making a phone call. 57%. Then you have 16% that are submitting emails and 27% that are actually making phone calls. Listen, I want you to understand that the people who are looking at your inventory, the people who are on our website on AutoTrader.com, they get it. They're very educated in the way it works now with the dealership. If I submit my information onto this lead form on this website, my inbox is going to blow up with emails. Even after I unsubscribe, I'll still get emails because that's just the way it works for some reason. And I'm going to continue to get flooded from so many different dealerships about wanting to come in and look at their vehicles. Or if I call them and they get my number, or if I give them my number, they're going to continue to follow up with me and make these phone calls. I don't want to deal with that. This is the mind of a consumer. They don't want to have to deal with talking to anybody. They don't want to have to deal with these emails. So what do? They do all of the research and then they just show up. Now what do you want? Do you want an email? Do you want a phone call where you're going to have to work it and try to convince them to come in and see it? Or do you want an email that you're going to have to follow up with continually up to 45 or 90 days? I mean, let's just face it. An internet customer can do 90 days at least worth of research before they show up into a showroom. Now, do you want to deal with that, or would you prefer having a body standing in your showroom saying, yes, can I look at this car? Can I take this car for a test drive? Listen, you know what? I want all of the pie. I want the email lead, I want the phone call, and I want the body. So listen, I want you to understand that this is how it works nowadays. Internet customers are doing research on at least 12 to 18 different websites before they walk into your store. They're going to spend up to 12 or 19 hours worth of research. And this is what happens. They may, for some reason, decide, I'm going to submit a lead about this particular car, and they submit that lead. And while that lead is sitting in your CRM, that lead can be in there and it may tie to a specific, let's just say, lead source, like carsforsale.com, for example. And now, after 45 days of sitting in your CRM, that person shows up without making a phone call or sending an email in, and they just show up in your showroom. Now they're there to look at a different car rather than the one that's attached to their name in the CRM. They end up buying the car. And now what happens is carsforsale.com gets what? They get the credit for the sale. And so now I want to ask you this question. Do you believe that the person who submitted that lead on carsforsale.com and who just bought a different car than the one that they submitted the lead on really did only research on carsforsale.com for 45 days? Think about it. But yet they're going to get the credit. So what we need to do is we need to realize that there's more questions we need to ask to find out truly what type of research these people are doing and where they're putting their eyes to research before they come into the store. One of the things that we have is the sourcing sheet that I created. It says, how did you hear about us? And then it says, it's got a list of all of the different third-party sites and the logos next to them, where we can put it on the desk on a nice little plastic piece that stands straight up like this. And in the middle of the write-up process on the road to the sale, you can say to the person, I know you were on this website that you were on before and that you said you saw this vehicle on. However, did you do any other research on any of these other sites here before you stopped in? By doing this, you can then have areas where you can put it onto your up sheet, or you can just check them off or write them down to say, okay, look, even though they may have not submitted a lead, they're still researching on that site anyway, so you don't think that that site's not generating any traffic or giving you any return on your investment. I'm trying to help you guys look beyond what we were normally trained to look at for many years before, to where we can now finally get a better gauge on where our marketing dollars are making an effect or not. I hope this helped you out, guys. There's so much more to talk about this, and we're going to continue to talk about this. If you want to, you can call me. My number's on the screen, or send me an email. Otherwise, I'll see you in your store soon.